Okay. All right. So I want to welcome everybody to this important section on data analytics and visualization in Azure, which is being aired today. In the course of this training, I would like to introduce us to our agenda for this session. Um, Before that, I would like to do a brief introduction about who I am. My name is Popola Isaka Olamilekan. I am Microsoft certified trainer. I have a master's degree in information production and management. I am also certified by International Computer Driving License as a global trainer. My area of specialization is data and cloud technologies, whereby for my specialization, I specialize on information technology with particular interest on data platform, be it on business intelligence, on data analytics. I also engage in automation of business processes. I take part in designing and reviewing of exam questions for Microsoft and Microsoft partner organizations. I take part in corporate technical training sections where I offer my technical expertise as a trainer. I also take part in tech-based community development where we encourage people who want to join the tech community. And we also mentor them on how they can kickstart their journey within the tech platform. So for my contacts, I have a list of my contact here through my email, my LinkedIn, my Twitter, now X Space, and my YouTube. All right. For my presentation outline, we'll be looking at a general overview of the presentation, which has to do with data analysis, data analytics and visualization in Azure. We'll be having a broad overview of what it is in terms of introduction. We also have an understanding of what is Microsoft Azure in terms of data analytics. From there, we'll be looking at some data analysis processes which have to do with data ingestion and storage, data processing and analysis, and also advanced analytics with Azure. We'll be having data visualization in Azure, and also we'll be having 3 demos for this particular study. Thereafter, we'll be having opportunity for question and answer. All right, for introduction, from the topic of discussion, data analytics and visualization in what? In Azure. There are 3 major concepts within that topic. The first concept is about data analytics, and the second concept is about data visualization, whereby the third concept is what we know as what? Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure. So we want to see the integration of the 3 concepts within a particular area of study. So we want to see what is data analytics, we want to see what is visualization, data visualization, and how Microsoft Azure has been an opportunity to achieve analytics and visualization in data. All right, so if somebody asks you, what do you mean by data visualization? Or what do you mean by data analysis? I can define data analysis as a process whereby we try to make some insights out of a particular data. For instance, now, we can see that data analysis and visualization are always coming together, but their purposes are different. We can see that whenever we are talking about data analysis, there's possibility to discuss about data visualization. They are crucial in terms of working with data, but there are differences between the two. Now let us concentrate on data analysis. The first item to look is about purpose. What is the purpose of data analysis? Data analysis focuses on examining, cleaning, transforming, and modeling data to discover useful information, draw conclusions, and support decision making. Let us align some keywords that I've mentioned in terms of what is the essence, what is the aim of data analysis. Data analysis, it focus in examining. Maybe you have a particular data set. You want to do, there's what we call ADA, exploratory data analysis, in terms of checking, okay, what is the pattern of this data, what is made up of rows, what is made up of columns, what are we trying to sort out, or what are we trying to look for as a solution in the data set. So the main focus of data analysis is for examining. After we have done exploratory analysis, we want to see what is made up of the data set. Then there's also a process we can do, what we know as cleaning. After we have examined the data, we can do some cleaning. Maybe there are some particular aspect of our data set that we don't need, anyone that we don't need for analysis. That is what we call cleaning. There's also what we call transformation or transforming data. Transformation of data happens to be from, okay, maybe you have cleaned out the data that you don't want, and you now have a final data that you can use for, maybe for your analysis. So that's one you can use for analysis. You can do a lot of transformation within the available data sets, and thereafter you also work with what modeling. That's what we call data modeling. And the essence of data modeling is to ensure that we don't have some redundancy in our data set, that we can link up data from different sources, that we can build a relationship between data sets. All right, so those are the main focus of data analysis. And the essence of this is that it helps us to discover useful information by getting insight. By the time we do data examination, data cleaning, data modeling, data transformation, we get useful information out of it, which we also known as insight. And from the insight, we can draw conclusions and make support and support our decision making process. So that is the main purpose of data analysis. What are the processes? So the processes involved in data analysis include statistical method as a process, algorithm method as a process, and we also have techniques to interpret complex data sets. There are some situations we can have complex data set. Maybe you are talking about data set that is running into millions of rows on billions of rows, and they are complex in nature in terms of their availability, in terms of their maybe cleaning, or in terms of their modeling, or in getting to know about transformation of those data. So we make use of a lot of data analysis processes, which help us to achieve a better analysis. So some of the processes include we have what we call descriptive statistics. We have what we call inferential statistics. We have predictive modeling. We have, in recent time, we have cognitive analytics in recent time, where we make use of machine learning, and we also have what we call prescriptive, prescriptive. Uh, we have predictive and we have prescriptive analysis. So those are the different areas of data analysis that we have. Okay, what is now our expected outcome from our data analysis? By the time we do analysis, the outcome of our data analysis is in form of insight, which can be in form of patterns or finding relationship between the data set. There are some situations whereby we are looking for maybe relationship that exists on what is the trend or what is the pattern of our data set. So this insight helps us in understanding past performance, what has happened in the past, predicting about future. Maybe we are looking at possibility of an event to happen in the future, maybe in case study of maybe weather forecast, or maybe in terms of machine learning, whereby we want to make predictions about sales forecast and some other things. So we can make use of the outcome of our data analysis to get insight, to get pattern, to get trend, and to get relationship between our data sets, which help us to understand about the past, to also understand about predicting future trends, and also make informed decisions. What are the different tools that we use for data analysis? Common tools for data analysis include, we have the Python, which is a programming language. We have R, we have SQL, we have SAS, we have Excel, we have SPSS, we have Excel, we have SPSS, we have We have Power BI, we have Tableau. So sorry, those two ones are for visualization. So the common examples of tools we use for analysis include Python, R, SQL, SAS, SAS, which is SAS. We have Excel, we have specialization softwares such as SPSS and Stata. All right, so that is a little introduction into what we mean by data analysis. For data visualization, so the essence of data visualization is to represent our data graphically to make complex data more accessible, understandable, and usable. The idea is this: after you have done your analysis, we now want to make your insight, the outcome of your analysis. You now want to make it presentable to the people, and that's why you make use of visualization. So it means that after your analysis, the next stage is visualization. And in visualization, the aim of visualization is to present our data graphically by making use of different visuals in order to make our data accessible, understandable, and usable, which helps in communicating data inside visually. So it means that data visualization help us to understand more about what? About our data analysis. All right, what are the processes involved in data visualizations? The processes involved include creating charts. We can have graphs, we can have maps, we can have dashboard, which represent data visually. So all those processes help us to represent data visually. Mind you, the essence of data visualization is to present our data graphically, right? So the processes that we make use involve maybe creating charts, creating graphs, creating maps, or creating dashboard. So some of the examples include we can have what we call charts. We can have what we call charts. We can have line graph. We can have pie chart. We can have scatter plots. We can have heat map. We can have advanced visualization, which involve interactive dashboards. So those are the processes involved in data visualization. What are the expected outcome? The expected outcome of data visualization is a visual representation of data that make it easier to see pattern. The essence of analysis is to do what? To see, we want to see insight, right? Maybe in terms of relationship, in terms of trend, in terms of pattern. Now, the outcome of visualization is the one that we now project, that the analysis that we have done. This is now the graphical illustration, which will now give us better understanding in terms of data trend, in terms of pattern, in terms of trend, in terms of maybe sometimes we have what we call outliers. Outliers are what we call extreme values, which can be we can have the medium value. We can have medium value, which is the average, and we can have some data that are far away from the median value, that are far away from the median value. So those ones are what we call um extreme values, or what we call outliers. So now the outcome of visualization help us to comprehend our data and also support our storytelling with data. So there's a concept we know as under data visualization, we call it data storytelling. So anytime you are seeing visualization, it is a data behind it that is telling a story, that okay, this is what is happening behind the scene, right? So we also have, we call tools. What are the common tools that we use for visualization? The common tools include Microsoft Power BI, which we look at in the course of this training. We also have another tool that is called Tableau. We have another another tool that is called Microsoft Excel. We can use for visualization. We can use D3.js. We can use what we call Google Data Studio, right? We also have what we call Azure Data Studio. We have Azure Data Explorer. Those are the different common platforms that we use for what? For data visualization. We also have when we are talking about programming languages in terms of Python and R, they have libraries which include Matplotlib, Seaborn, and ggplot2, which help us in terms of what? In terms of data visualization. We will make use of those as tools in terms of data visualization. So having gotten the understanding uh, of what is data analysis and what is data visualization. So what are the key differences between the two? Now, the key differences between the two is that I have about three parameters to measure the differences. The first one is focus. The second one is skill set. And the third one is outcome. Now, in terms of focus, data analysis is about processing and interpreting data. What is the focus of data analysis? Processing and interpreting data. Whereby, in terms of focus, the focus of data visualization is about what? Presenting data graphically or visually. In terms of skill set, what is the difference between the two in terms of data analysis and the data visualization? In terms of skill set, what is the difference? Data analysis require skills in statistics, programming, and data manipulation. You can't be fine in being a data analyst without having better understanding about statistics, about programming, and about what? Data manipulation. Those are the key foundation knowledge that a data analyst has to have. So if you don't have those skill sets, then you need to buckle up and see how you can get those three skill sets, which are statistics, knowledge of statistics, programming language, and also data manipulation. Whereas in terms of skill set for data visualization, it requires a skill in designing creativity, because visualization has to do with what? Creativity. That's what we call, there's a concept we call UX, user experience. User want to see your creativity, so you must be good in designing. If you want to become a very good data visualization expert, you must be good in designing. You must be good in storytelling, because data is for storytelling. You must be good on how you tell story with your data, and you must understand visual perceptions. You must understand visual perception. When you're talking about visual perceptions, there are some color that you cannot use to portray or to communicate an idea. For instance, now, anywhere you see red color, it usually symbolizes danger. You cannot use danger for something, and danger is negative. You cannot use something that is negative for something positive. And anytime you see green, green means what? Something that is positive. Something that is positive. And you cannot use something that is positive for something that is negative. So there is what we call visual perception. You must be good as a data visualization expert. You must be good in telling story with data. You must be good in creative design, and you must be good in what? Visual perception. All right. In terms of outcome, what is different between data analysis and data visualization in terms of outcome? Data analysis results in quantitative insight and findings. Quantitative insight and findings. For instance, I've gone to the field to measure some quantity of data, right? I've gone to the field to measure some quantity of data. By the time I take my readings, that is quantitative insight. Oh, from the data, for instance, now, if somebody asks me, Kukwala, how many participants are in this class? Maybe the participant is 30. I can say, oh, as at the moment, as at this present time, the number of participants is 30. That is quantitative insight. Somebody can have quantitative insight and find. You can also make findings. So from the data that I've presented, somebody can ask further. Oh, from 30 participants in the class, how many of them are female? How many of them are male? If females are 20, I can say, oh, the female among them are 20 in number, while the male among them are what? Are 10 in number. That is findings. The first thing is to make insight, and the second thing is to make what? Findings. Whereas in terms of data visualization, it results in visual representation, right? That make data insight easier to grab, right? So those are the three major key differences between data analysis and data visualization. You can see that I took a lot of time to explain, because this is the foundation of what we are here to do today. You have to understand the concept of data analysis. You have to understand the concept of what? Of data visualization. And you have to see what is the marriage between the two? Where are they coming together? Because they are very crucial in terms of managing our data. So what is the line of differences, and what is the line of um what is the line of uniformity or correlation? Where do they correlate, and where do they have differences? So after that, the third concept is about the concept of Azure, the concept of Azure. All right, so just a minute. Um, which we discuss in the next slide, right? All right. So understanding Microsoft Azure for data analytics. We take the second part of understanding Azure for data visualization in the course of the training, which is in some few slides that we get to in due course, right? Um, please, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chats. When we have time, we look at that, and also if you have any question, please you can drop them on the chat. And then Shantaya, please, you can also call my attention if there is any question from the chat, in case I'm carried away, right?
Sure, definitely. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat box. So we can't
Okay.
switch on the mics and for everyone for some reasons. But yeah, you can ask your chat questions in the chat box or Q&A section. So if there will be any question, I would love to give it to you.
Okay, thank you. So now, after understanding the basic of discussion, the third arm of the concept is about Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure, because if we twist the topic, we can, the topic is about data analysis and visualization with Azure. We can reframe it by calling it how we can do data analysis how we can do data analysis and visualization in Azure, because Azure is a platform. Data analysis is data analysis anywhere you go in the world. Data visualization is data visualization anywhere in the world. But there are different platforms that we use for data analysis. Before the advent of cloud technology, people use on their desktop. People used to do data analysis and visualization on their desktop. Even not using electronic platform for analysis and data for analysis and visualization, right? Now, for instance, if I go to the field, I observe my readings. Maybe I conducted some laboratory tests, and have my readings. I can observe what I've done in my laboratory analysis, and take my readings, write it down on the paper. That is not electronic. That is just a physical means of representing data, right? Thereafter, with the advent of knowledge in technology, the advent of electronic platform came, and people are using laptop and different online media to also do analysis. But we have also taken it up from the platform of laptop or some electronic devices to the cloud. So now Azure is a cloud-based platform that is being owned by Microsoft. If you are talking about cloud um, cloud service providers, we are talking about cloud service providers. We have a lot of cloud service providers in the world, but um, three giants among them are we have Google GPC, we have Amazon AWS, and we have what we call Azure for Microsoft. So these are the three most prominent cloud platforms that we have in the world. And the platform that is being created by Microsoft for cloud service is what we call as Azure. All right. So in the Azure, which is a cloud-based platform for a lot of operations, right? In the Azure, we have a lot of categories of operations that we can do in Azure. We can use Azure for data analysis, as we are discussing. We can use Microsoft Azure for data visualization, as we are discussing. We can use Azure for security. We can use it for maybe cyber security. We can also use Azure as a platform for administration, which is being known by Azure Administrator. We can use that platform for Internet of a Thing. We can use it for web management. Any type of information technology area is what we can use Azure for. But our focus is how we can use Microsoft Azure for data analysis and visualization. Now, this take me to the second point of note, which are what are the key services for data analytics. I've mentioned that we have a lot of areas that we can cover within Microsoft Azure, but we want to limit ourselves to the areas of analytics. What are the different services that we can use for analytics? We have what we call Azure Data Storage. Azure Data Storage is an Azure service which is being used for data analytics. It has an advantage of scalability, storage scalability for big data. When you're talking about scalability is your ability to increase or decrease your storage capacity, right? There's what we call data lake storage. We use for managing our data, which it can help us to scale up or scale down our data. We also have another Azure services, another Azure service that is known as Azure Synapse Analytics. So Azure Synapse Analytics is an integrated analytics service for big data and data warehousing. Before the advent of Synapse Analytics, which we concentrate on in our demo, we make use of Synapse Analytics. Before the advent of Synapse Analytics, different data professionals were having different platforms to do their data analysis and their integration, right? Maybe if I'm a data engineer, I can make use of maybe Azure Data Factory as my independent platform. If I am a data visualization expert, right, I can make use of maybe Power BI as a standalone platform. If I'm a database administrator, I can make use of Azure SQL as a standalone solution. But with the advent of and it's also, for example, if I'm a machine learning, if I'm a data scientist, I can make use of machine learning platform as a standalone technology to solve and get results for my work. But with the advent of Azure Synapse Analytics, it has integrated all different job roles within data feed. All different job roles within data feed. Maybe you are a data engineer, you can make use of analytics. You are a database administrator, you can make use of Synapse Analytics. Maybe you are a data scientist, you can make use of Synapse Analytics. Or maybe you are any area of data that you can specialize on. Azure Synapse Analytics has been a unique platform that has integrated all different areas within the data feed. So we also have what we call Azure Data Factory, which has to, it helps in terms of managing our data pipeline on data workflow. We also have what we call Azure Databricks, which make use of Apache Spark, Apache Spark based platform, which make use of notebook. We also have what we call machine learning, which help us to build, train, and deploy machine learning models. We also have what we call Azure Stream Analytics for real-time stream processing. So before the advent, these are standalone solutions within Azure. Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, Azure Machine Learning, Azure Stream Analytics. They are independent. They are what? They are individual solutions that can help us in terms of achieving our data analysis within Microsoft Azure. But the one that has also, integrated all of them together is what we call as Azure Synapse Analytics. Azure Synapse Analytics, which we have a demo on. All right. Then the next um now we have different areas of data analysis. We have that different areas of data analysis. So anytime you are talking about data analysis, uh, the first thing that you have to do is data ingestion, and you do your data storage, or you do your data storage, and of course you must have a storage before you can do data analysis. Your data must be stored somewhere. So after you have gotten your data storage, then you now do what we call data ingestion. So in analysis, in conducting data analysis, the two platforms we use most often in Azure for data analysis is what we call Azure Data Lake Storage, which is being used for our what? For data storage. And we also make use of Azure Data Factory, which is being used for what? Data ingestion. Data ingestion has to do with what? You want to bring in your data, maybe from a location. You can have your data being located in anywhere. Maybe it's on your desktop, maybe it's on your laptop, maybe it's in another cloud platform. So you can do data ingestion by making use of what? Azure Data Factory, which is one of the components of Azure, which is one of the components of Azure Key Services. Then I did mention that before you can do analysis, you must have your data being stored somewhere, and you must be able to also do what? Data ingestion, because before you can do analysis, you must be able to bring in data, connect to where data is being stored, right? All right. So um it is painful. This session is just 1 hour. We could have taken more time to digest how we can do data integration, data ingestion, and data storage, making use of demos. But this time is too limited. All right, so we can look at some advanced analytics with Azure, right? Some advanced analytics with Azure. We are talking about analysis in terms of data science. Azure Machine Learning has been a platform for data scientists, whereby they can, build model, train model, and also have some output result from their machine learning algorithms. And in terms of advanced analytics too, we make use of real time. Gone are the days when people need to gather data before they can do analysis. But the world has moved to the extent that as data is coming in, we want to do analysis with it, right? So gone are those days when data is being collated before analysis is done. But today, we are doing real-time analytics. Real-time analytics means as data is coming in, we are doing what? Analytics with it, right? So there's a concept we know as writing data, reading data, and also analyzing data. That's the concept of real-time analytics. You are writing data, that is, more data is coming in. You are reading data, that is, you are doing exploratory data analysis, checking what new data has come in, and you are also doing what? Analysis, which is those things that real times analytics cover. We also what we call stream analytics. When you're talking about stream analytics is Azure Stream Analytics is also a platform within Azure which help us to do advanced analytics. Advanced analytics. All these are, you know, require. I'm just giving a broad overview about how we can do data analysis and how we can do data visualization in Azure. At advanced level, we cannot take each of these services within Azure. Okay, how do we do machine learning in Azure? How do we make use of Azure Stream Analytics for real-time analytics in Azure? Those are advanced learning concept that if we have time, we can now go through them one after the other. So in terms of advanced analytics, yes, we do machine learning, which is about data science, and we also do real-time analytics and Azure Streams analytics. Um, So with regards to data processing and analysis, in Azure, the major platform that I've mentioned earlier for data analysis and for data processing analysis, data processing has to do with what? maybe you want to do data ingestion, you want to bring in your data, you want to clean up your data, you want to do data transformation. Those are what processes. Those are processes. Data ingestion, data cleaning, data transformation. Those are processes. So after the processes, then you now do analysis. So in Azure, we have two platforms that we make use of in terms of data processing and analysis. The first one is Azure Synapse Analytics, which I've mentioned earlier that it is a one-stop platform for all data professionals whereby they can work together on a particular project as regards their area of concentration. We also use the data bricks. So that bricks also help us to do data processing and data analysis. Right. Then now for data visualization, we have been discussing about data analysis. For data visualization in Azure, we have explored all the platforms that we can make use of in terms of data analysis in Azure. So we now want to see how can we now do visualization. We have seen the side of analysis. How can we now do visualization in Azure? Now, for do visualization in Azure, the prominent platform that is being used is what we call Power BI. And this Power BI is part of Synapse Analytics. Now, what is the essence of Power BI? Like I did from my introduction when I was introducing you to what is the meaning, what do we understand by data visualization. I did mention that data visualization has to do with what graphical representation of data. After you have done your analysis, then you want to make your insight visually appealing so that people can understand what your data is communicating. You want to tell a story with data. So the visualization platform that we use in Azure is what we call Power BI. And when you look at Power BI, Power BI is a tool for data analyst. Data analyst is a tool for data analyst. And what do we do in Power BI? Power BI is a robust platform that can help us to do data ingestion, that can help us to do data cleaning, that can help us to do data transformation, that can help us to do data modeling, that can help us to do data visualization, right? All those five areas that I've mentioned is what Power BI can do. Before the advent of Synapse Analytics, we normally used to have Power BI as a standalone software, right? And that's why up to today, we have what we call Power BI Desktop. There are three ecosystems of Power BI. We have Power BI Desktop, we have Power BI, we have Power BI Desktop, we have Power BI Service, and we have Power BI Mobile. Those are the three platforms or three ecosystem of Power BI. Power BI Desktop, that is an executable file that you install on your desktop or you install on your laptop for data visualization analysis purpose, right? Power BI service. Data BI service is a cloud platform, right? Is a cloud platform where you can publish whatever you have done on the on the Power BI desktop. You can can push it into the Power BI service, which is a cloud-based platform for data analysis. The essence of that is that um, if you are stuck with your desktop for data analysis and visualization, maybe you are out of your you are out of your area, you don't have access to your laptop. It means that whatever work you are doing on data visualization, on data analysis on your desktop, if you are out of the location of your of your laptop, it means that you cannot continue. So Microsoft now came about, oh, you should be able to do data at anywhere you are. Just make sure that you publish whatever you have done from Power BI desktop into Power BI cloud on Power BI service. Then from service, then you can now access that your data analysis or visualization globally without any restriction that you must see your laptop before you can do your work. So now from there, we can now have what we call Power BI mobile. Power BI mobile is that the end result of your visualization. There you can now push it to mobile. Mobile can be maybe your phone, it can be maybe your laptop again, it can be maybe your palm top or any other means of accessing um accessing your data on the go. Any other ways of accessing your data on the go, we can now have access to your data on the go. So now that is about Power BI ecosystem. So creating visualization with Power BI, yes, creating visualization with Power BI. If you remember when I was defining what we mean by data visualization, right? Data visualization, from the definition I gave, it has to do with what maybe you are looking for pattern, you are looking for maybe trend, or you are communicating some outcome. So those are the things we want to look at. But there are some special skill set that a data visualization expert needs to have, which I have mentioned. You must have understanding about creative art, which has to do with what designing. That you must have skill sets in designing visuals. You must also have skill sets in what in color, in color, because colors are not the same. I've given you illustration about red being used for negative on danger, and green being used for something positive, or something that is friendly. So I've given illustration. So you have to, when you're talking about visualization, from the Power BI, desktop, we have a lot of visualizations. We also have what we call some custom visuals, and we also have some imported visuals that we can import in terms of visualization. So the essence of creating visualization in Power BI is to have understanding about how you can communicate, how you can tell a story with your data, with requisite visuals that communicate. Right. For instance, now an example of a visual is maybe a line chart. Line chart has a purpose. For instance, now if you want to check a trend, you want to check a trend about what has happened maybe in the past. When you're checking a trend, the best visual for a trend is what? Is a line chart, right? If you are checking for um if you are checking for maybe relationship, if you are checking for relationship between maybe male and female data, you have male and female data, you can make use of a pie chart. You can make use of a pie chart, or you can make use of a bar chart, right? So we are checking for relationship, maybe in terms of categorical data and not categorical data, right? So we can make use of those visualizations, and we also have examples of visualizations like donut, like table, like map, and some other things. Maybe I will need to, under my demo, I will need to show you an interface of Power BI desktop, right? So that we can have some familiarized understanding with some of the concepts and some of the terminologies that I'm mentioning. So we also do advanced visualization and customization. Now, for customization, when you make use of any visual, they can appear to you by default values, right? They can appear to you by default values, but it is not left to you because of your understanding of mm, designing visuals. So it is not left to you to know, okay, maybe you want to make use of default visuals, or you want to import some other visuals that can aid your communication on your storytelling. So we have advanced visualization that can also help us. Maybe, for instance, now you are looking for outlier. We are checking for outlier. Outlier is an advanced visualization. Or you want to check for KPI, key performance index. You want to check, okay, what is the benchmark? Are somebody met up with the benchmark, or somebody is not meeting up with the benchmark? Those are advanced visualizations. All right. You want to create Q&A, you want to like a chatbot that we have. Okay, from your data set, you want to ask questions and get feedback. Like when you have text and you are having chatbots to to check for information you have in your data set or you have in documents. Likewise, you can do that for visualization too by making use of Q&A search. All right, so um, next, let us look at demo. Let us look at a demo. For this demo, I just discovered that I also need to take you through. Um, I just need to take you through Power BI desktop. Let me quickly add that. Power BI desktop. All right. So now, the first thing is what? Exploration of Azure Portal. Now, the idea is this. uh, I did mention from the beginning that people have been doing analysis for donkey years, right? People have been doing visualization for donkey years until the advent of technology, which came about maybe making use of softwares, designing softwares or software applications to now do our data analysis and data visualization, right? I did mention that from the application softwares, we now have what we call cloud-based solutions. You can see the transition process. People are using, are doing data on paper and non-electronic. So when people are now doing analysis and visualization with electronic devices, right? But the world has moved to the cloud technology, whereby people are now doing analysis and what visualization through the cloud. So the cloud that is being used by Microsoft is what we call Azure, and Azure has what we call a portal. So let me quickly take you through an Azure portal so that you can see some of the services that I've mentioned that are available for data analysis and visualization, right? Okay, let me quickly do that. I will need to share my entire screen so that you can see what I'm about to show you. Um, Chantai, any question yet? I think no. Um,
No, I don't think so. So,
okay,
guys,
okay.
feel free to ask any questions if you have in the chat box, and Popola would love to answer your question. So, if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, thank you. So we are moving to demo now and want to explore Azure Portal because Azure Portal is a cloud platform where we can do what? We can do data analysis and data visualization. Just a moment, let me share my entire screen. Before that, let me even share my maybe browser first. Let me share my browser first so that I can do that very quickly before I take you to the desktop. Um, uh, just a moment. All right. Stop sharing. Let me take you to my browser. Um, just a moment. Um, Share Windows. Okay, please confirm you can see my portal. Sorry, confirm you can see my browser. Can you see my browser?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, okay. So we have been discussing about data analysis and visualization. I want to see how we can make use of Azure Portal. How we can make use of Azure Portal. So Azure Portal has what we call a web link, and the web address is portal.azure.com, right? Or we can start from https. Let me drop this on the chat. So this is the platform we can make use to access the portal, right? Let me drop that on the chat. So now I've dropped that link on the chat. Now the idea is that this portal is the cloud-based platform for Microsoft technologies, right? I just click on enter. Now, for you to have access to the portal, you must have a Microsoft account, right? You must have what? You must have a Microsoft account. Because if you don't have Microsoft account, you cannot access the portal. So how do you, portal is not, is supposed to be dot, not forward slash. Sorry about that. Did I drop slash two? Let me check. Oh, sorry, it is not slash. It is a dot. Portal dot Azure. Portal dot Azure dot let me delete the first one. Yes. So now this is signing in. I have to sign in because it's a Microsoft Azure platform. If I don't have my login details, I cannot access my Azure portal. So the idea is that how do I create an Azure portal? Sorry, how do I create an Azure account? Do I create a Microsoft account? Is another discussion for next time. Let me quickly check if I can get a link to tell you. Create Azure. How do you create Azure account? Sorry, not even Azure account, Microsoft account. Once you have a Microsoft account, you can create Azure account. So just let me drop this link. So I'm assuming maybe I'm taking beginners. That's why I'm not assuming you know how to do that. Let me drop this on chat. So this one is about how you can create this is about how you can create your Microsoft Azure account. So once we have your Microsoft Azure account, then you can now come and use what? You can now come and use Microsoft Azure to sign in, right? So I have two platforms. This is personal. The other one is official. But let me use my personal to access the Microsoft portal. So this is my Microsoft portal. You can see that my email is on the top because that is my Microsoft account detail. If I don't have this email and if I don't have this Microsoft account, I can't access. And you can see that a subscription is showing that is I have 67.12 US dollars remaining. So most of the services on Azure, they are not free. Most of the services on Azure, they are not what? They are not free. Most of them are paid services, right? Most of them are what? Most of them are paid services. But there are some of them that are free because we have different Azure accounts. We have some Azure accounts that are free accounts. We have some that are paid. So that is not the subject of discussion. So now we are in the Microsoft Azure portal. Now, we want to see some of the data analytics and visualization services. Now, how do we access that? You come to these three lines at the top left side. We call it show portal menu. When you click on this, it will show all the menu in the portal. Now, you go to all resources, all resources. When you click on all resources, so all resources, oh, sorry, not all resources. Let me take it again. You go to all services. You go to all services. So when you go to all services, this is where we have all services that are being rendered by Azure. All services that are being rendered by Azure, and they are categorized. You can see that we can use, these are all services available from AI plus machine learning, down to analytics, down to compute, down to container, down to databases, down to DevOps, down to general, down to hybrid or multi-cloud, down to identity, which is about security and identity management. This is about data integration or integration services. This is about Internet of Things. This is about management and governance. This is about migration, mixed reality, monitor, networking, security, storage, and web mobile. So these are all services that are being offered by what? By Microsoft Azure. For instance, now if I have anything to do with all service um, with only AI and machine learning, I'll just come to under category. I'll just click on AI and machine learning. And when I go to AI and machine learning, we have 22. Can you see this 22? We have 22 services available under AI and machine learning. If it's about analytics, if I scroll down, I can see category that is analytics, which is about data analytics. From data analytics, we can see that we have 23 available what? 23 available services, from analysis service up to stream analytics job. Or if I want to go to compute, compute is another services. These are different compute services that we have, about 35 of them. We have container, we have databases, which is for data analysis on data management. We have 19 services available for data analysis under Microsoft Azure. I've mentioned that Microsoft Azure is a Microsoft solution, cloud-based solution for all information technology related operations. We have services for DevOps, we have general services, we have hybrid and multi-cloud, about 26 services are available for that. And we have identity in terms of security management, we have integration, we have Internet of Things, we have management and governance, and we have some other things that we can look at. All right. So now, but our interest is about what? Our interest is about data, right? So, since our interest is about data, what are the things that has to do with data? Analytics has to do with data, right? You can see under data we have what we call big data processing. Data processing. So these are the tools we use for data processing. For data exploration, we have all these tools for data exploration. I did mention something about EDA, exploratory data analysis, EDA, exploratory data analysis. These are different tools on different services under Azure that we use for that. We also have what we call under analytics, we have what we call real-time analytics, where we make use of what? Synapse, actual Synapse analytics, and we make use of what? Stream analytic cluster, and some other real-time analytics too. So what are the other things that has to do with data? We can also go to compute. We have some services under compute that have to do with data. Maybe you want to make use of your virtual network. You want to create your virtual machine, whereby you want to create an environment in the cloud where you can do your operations. We also have something that has to do with databases for data related operations, build new applications. Um, these are different applications that we can use under Microsoft Azure. So each one of these require deep knowledge for you to make use of each one of them. For example, now if you're a database administrator, you make use of SQL database, Azure SQL database. You also make use of what? SQL virtual machines, right? You also make use of if you want to use open source software, you can make use of MySQL flexibility server and a host of others. These are different. So in case of data in Microsoft, you can make use of these categories: AI and machine learning. You can make use of analytics. You can make use of compute. You can make use of what? You can make use of databases. These are core areas that have to do with data analysis and visualization. Okay, so I did mention that in our demo we do an exploratory. So for instance, now if you are looking for there's a categorical check of all the operations that Microsoft Azure can do. If you want to be specific, maybe you want to look for SQL database, Azure SQL database, right? Instead of coming through this route of going to all services, from all services you go to each category. Instead of going through that route, you can come to search bar. If you know the name of that software, I mean that service that you are looking for. Maybe you want to I want to look for Azure SQL, right? I want to look for Azure SQL, which is being used by what? Azure, which is being used by a database administrator. Can you see that it has IntelliSense? It has IntelliSense as I'm typing Azure SQL. It is giving me what? Related services that have to do with what? Azure SQL, like a SQL, Azure SQL or some other things. So if I'm interested in Azure SQL, I just click on Azure SQL instead of going through the route of what? Going through the route of what? All services. Then from all services, instead of going through the route of all services, and from all services I go to database, I now select Azure databases. No, you can just come to search bar and type anything of your interest. But the one that we make use of is what we call Azure. That I want to do another demo on is Azure Synapse Analytics. So this is Azure Synapse Analytics, which I've mentioned is a one-stop shop for all data related what? All data related operations. Be it you are a data engineer, be it you are a you are a database administrator, or you are a machine learning expert, or you're a data scientist. All different roles within data field can come and use this Synapse Analytics, right? So after you have checking for Synapse Analytics, you now come to create. If you want to create a Synapse Analytics that is not existing, you come to create, because it's a platform for you to work on. So from create, it will ask you some basic items about creation. So the essence of this training is not about how to use Synapse Analytics because of the constraint of time. So I've created one. I'll just let us use the one. So after you have filled up all the required information, you click on review and create. So after you have provided all the parameters, what are the parameters? All these parameters are basic. You have to supply basic information in terms of which resource group you want to use, in terms of which subscription you want to, because Azure Synapse Analytics is not free service. You'll have to have a subscription. Subscription means what? You have to pay. It is not free. You have to pay. After you have made payment, then you can now have access to Synapse Analytics workspace. So after you have supplied basic information in terms of resource group, in terms of managed resources, in terms of your data lake, data lake, we use it for data storage that I mentioned the other time. We also have file systems. After you have supplied all this, you also check your security if everything is perfect, whether you are using security identity, ID authentication, or you want to use what? Microsoft Entra to authenticate, or you want to use what? You want to use admin login. So this is where you create your admin login. If you want to have information about networking, whether you want to enable network or you want to disable network. Network has to do with what? Do you want people to have access to database you want to create from here, or it must be only you or people within your organization? So we also have some tag. This is where okay, maybe this operation is about a particular department, or this operation is about what? A particular service. You can tag all your operations, and after everything is good, you can now go to review and create. Anyone that is missing, it will not create. Can you see that? Validation failed. Validation failed. Why is it failed? Because we have not supplied basic information. That is why validation failed in basic information. If you go for that, it will also fail maybe in security because we have not supplied. You can see that from here it is none. Resource group none. Data lake none because we have not supplied. So the idea is that we are not creating one because it may take time. Just let us go to the one that I created for the particular for the purpose of this training. I call it data fees, data visualization. So I just click on it, and from there, it will now take me to uh, it will now take me to the Synapse workspace, my Synapse workspace. From my Synapse workspace, which I name what data visualize, data phase. I can now go to Synapse Studio. That's what we call Synapse Studio. So Synapse Studio is where a studio is where you do a lot of what, a lot of services, maybe photographic studio, any kind of studio, any kind of studio that you can think of. That is where you do your operations. Like it's your laboratory, right? So that is where you do your operation. But you must have your what? You must have what we call your data Synapse workspace. You must have your what? Synapse workspace. Synapse workspace. After you have created your Synapse workspace, then you now go to what? You now go to open your Synapse Studio by just clicking on this open, and it will come here like this. So it is loading, right? It is loading. So from here, we can now do a lot of operations that have to do with data. Um, this session is not to introduce us to it's not to have an elaborate discussion on Synapse analytics because it is voluminous for us to to dabble into. It's another section if time permits the other time, the next time. So now, what are the different things that you can do under Synapse analytics? You can have home. This is home. Immediately you launch, you can see your home. You can see data. This is where you have uh, different data that you want to work with, right? This is where you have different data you want to work it. So we also have what we call develop. From develop, you can have some operations that you want to develop. Maybe you want to create SQL script. You want to create a KQL, cost to query language script, or you want to create notebook like we mentioned for Apache Spark the other time. I want to create data flow, or want to create some other things. So this is where we do develop. We also do integrate. So under this integrate, this is where we are also doing what we call, there's what we call pipeline. Pipeline, we do pipeline under Azure Data Factory. So we can now see that Azure Data Factory that is being used for data ingestion is now available inside what Synapse Analytics, that I did mention that all different fields of data analytics are available in Synapse Analytics, which is major work of maybe a data engineer. So we can also do what we call link connections. Maybe you have different links where your data are domiciled. You can create a link from the what? You can create that link and integrate your data into what? Synapse Analytics. We also have monitor. Under monitor, we can check what is in operation. We can check what is in operation. We can check your analysis. You can check your analytics pool, whether you have some operations running, or you can check your activities. What SQL requests have you made? What KQL requests have you made? Are you working on any Apache applications? Do you have any data flow debug? This is where you monitor all operations within Synapse Analytics. You can also go to manage. So from the manage, we can perform all other operations. Maybe you want to do integration by trigger. Trigger has to do with what? If this happen, let this happen, right? If A happen, then B must happen. Or if A does not happen, then B must not happen. This is where you do integration. You also do what? Analytics. You also do external connections. This is where you take link services, and you can have what we call Azure Purview, which is being used for data governance. We have what we call security, access control and management, credentials. We can also do a lot of configurations, and you can also do your source control, making use of Git configurations under manage. So, but for the purpose of this training, our demo is to look at how we can access Power BI for data visualization. So let me just click on Power BI. If I click on Power BI, it is asking me, oh, this guy, what would be the name of, Power BI Power BI that I want to create. Maybe I can just call this one demo, or I can call it data, demo on data. So it doesn't accept what? It doesn't accept link service name should only contain letters, numbers, underscore, on space. So it doesn't accept what? It doesn't accept hyphen. So my intent is to do what? Demo underscore, maybe data underscore visualization. Maybe that is the name that I want to create for what? For my what do we call it? For my Power BI data set that I want to see. So from here, I've measured the name. Then it will ask me of the tenant. It will ask me of the tenant. So the tenant has to do with your which particular subscription is attached to this Power BI that you want to work with. So as at now, I have a lot of tenants, but the one that I've selected is this code learners because it is the one that has subscription, right? You know, I mentioned that Synapse Analytics is subscription based, it's not free. But this one has subscription. But for now, you can see that workspace name is what? Fail to load workspace. Because Microsoft, I just discovered that Microsoft has changed its policy, right? Microsoft has changed its policy that you cannot use personal email address or personal account to access Power BI again. So that's what I just discovered. You cannot use your personal your personal email address or your personal account. So what Microsoft is now is requiring now is that you must be able to use your what organizational account. You must be able to use your what organizational account before you can access what before you can access this Power BI service. For instance, now let me quickly show you this. Um, if you come here and you want to have access to your Power BI, can you see it? Power BI. Uh, Let me also copy this and paste it. So if I just click on enter, you can have your Power BI. Let me drop it on the chat. Um, so this one that just dropped now is for you to access your Power BI because we use Power BI for visualization purpose. We use Power BI for visualization and data analysis purpose. So I can see that I have Power BI um, platform here. So if I have my Power BI platform here, it means that I have pushed what? I have pushed some of my data from what? From Power BI desktop into Power BI. So this is what we call Power BI Power BI cloud. I mean Power BI service. So this is what we call Power BI service. You know, I did mention that we have three types of Power BI ecosystem. We have Power BI desktop, we have Power BI desktop, we have Power BI service, and we have what? We have Power BI mobile. Power BI mobile. So this is how Power BI service look like. So this is how you can get access to Power BI service by typing https colon double forward slash app.powerbi.com. So, and it will take you to what? Power BI service. You can also access it from your what? Power BI desktop. Power BI desktop. So, and these are different data sets that I have within my what? Within my Power BI service. Within my Power BI service. All right. So, that is that. Um, I've been able to show you how Power BI, so how Microsoft Azure look like. I've also been able to show you how you can access different activities, different services within Power BI. Sorry, within Azure Portal. I've also been able to create one service which has to do with what Azure Synapse Analytics, and from Azure Synapse Analytics we have been able to explore the interface, and we have been able to also look at how we can visualize data by making use of Power BI in Synapse Analytics. So I've also been able in the demo, I've also been able shown to you how you can access your Power BI service. How you can access your Power BI service, which is a cloud-based platform that you can make use of different operations over there. So now let me quickly share my entire screen so that you can also see Power BI desktop. So these are the things that we use for Power BI data analysis and visualization purposes. So the third ecosystem of Power BI, which is our Power BI service and Power BI mobile, you can access it uh, on on Google Play Store. If you just type, if you go to Google, if you are using an Android phone, type. If you are using Android phone, just go to Google Play Store and type Power BI. Just type Power BI. You'll be able to download Power BI. Power BI what? Power BI mobile. If you are using iPhone, you can go to App Store on iPhone and type Power BI. It will also bring out for you to download what we know as what? Power BI um, Power BI mobile. Okay, so the third aspect of Power BI is a desktop. Let me quickly show Power BI desktop for you to see. Let me share this entire screen. I want to share entire screen. Okay, perfect. So this is the entire screen. Now, if I minimize this, if I minimize this, and I go to, can you see this is the symbol of Power BI desktop? If I go to Power BI desktop, I click on this Power BI desktop, because all data analysis and visualization start from Power BI desktop. It is after you have worked and finished your job from Power BI desktop that you can now push it to what? Power BI service. And from Power BI service, you can now, access your visualizations from what? Power BI mobile, right? So that's the sequence. The sequence of operation is that you do your data ingestion, you do your data analysis, you do your data modeling, you do your data transformation, you do your um, data cleaning, all of them in Power BI what? Power BI desktop. So from Power BI desktop, there you now move to what? You now move to Power BI service. Power BI service. Um, is this one bringing something? So this one is connected directly to the cloud. Um, Let me just minimize this. I'm not asking to connect to the Power BI. I just want to make use of Power BI desktop. Can you see now? This is Power BI desktop. Uh, I must have signed in before I can have access to it. Can you see now? It's because I've signed in. So if I want to sign out, I'll just come out from here, sign out. All right. So these are different things that we have. Can we check some of visualization that we have? Yes, we can. If you see this, we have this report. We have this visualization report. So this is the interface. Uh, Unable to. So now this is the interface of Power BI desktop. This is what I want to introduce to you. This is the interface of Power BI desktop. And I did mention we have a lot of visuals. If you check here, this is bar chart. This is what column chart. This is what cluster bar chart. This is what cluster column chart. This is donut. This is pie chart. This is scatter plot. This is what? This is funnel. And so all of this, they have different ways. This is uh card. This is what? This gauge. All of this, they have different things that we use each one of them for. They have different things that we use each one of them for. So this is the interface of Power BI desktop. This is the interface of Power BI desktop. Or you can import your data from Excel, from SQL, and from different platforms. So I'm aware we time has fast been we have spent so much time. I may not have to do a more hands-on than this introductory aspect. Maybe when next we have another session, we can now take it up from this and now go into more deep in terms of seeing what are different analysis and what are different visualizations that we can do by all these integrations within Microsoft Azure. So on a final note, um, I want to quickly recall that um, I want to quickly recall that we have been able to explore different areas of this discussion, which has to do with what? Which has to do with looking at the differences between what we call data analysis and what we call what? What we call data visualization. And the third concept has to do with what? Azure, Microsoft Azure. So how the three concepts integrate together, and how we now took time to explore what are different services available in Microsoft Azure for for data analysis. We look into different services available for data ingestion and storage. That is where we mentioned the issue of Azure Data Factory and Azure Block Storage, Azure Block Storage. So we also look at different data processor and analysis by making use of Azure Synapse Analytics and Azure Databricks. We also look at advanced analytics with Azure, maybe in terms of real-time analytics and some other stuffs that we can do that. We look at data visualization in the Azure, making use of Synapse Analytics and also making use of what? Power BI. And we also look at how we can have access to our Power BI cloud, and how we can also have access to our Power BI desktop. In our demo, we look at how we can have access to our Power BI desktop, our Power BI mobile, and our Power BI cloud, which is our Power BI service. So these are the things that we have as a first stage to this discussion. Maybe when next time we have more time, we cannot build upon the foundation that I've laid today. So I want to thank you all for your listening attentive. Let me check. Do we have questions? Chat time? Chantaya?
So there's one question. I'm still learning the basics of Power BI desktop at my university for data analytics subjects. I saw a while ago that there's a Power BI embedded feature in Azure. Does that mean that everything you do in Power BI you can deploy in Azure as a database, right? And also visualization, but using Synapse Analytics, or there any some other features, and then deploying it on apps, maybe my own mobile app.
Okay. I'm just checking the question. Let me quickly digest that question.
Yeah, it's a very long question actually, with the 3 to 4 questions combined. It's in the
Okay,
chat
okay.
box.
Yeah, yes, I'm looking at it right now. I'm still learning the basic of Power BI desktop at my university for data analytics subjects. I saw a while ago that there is a Power BI embedded feature in Azure. Yes, which is true. The answer to that is through the Power BI, through the Azure Synapse Analytics that I've explained. Does that mean that everything you do in Power BI, you can deploy in Azure as a database? Right. The answer is yes. The answer is yes to the first question mark. The second one, and also visualization, but using Synapse Analytics, or there are some other features. For visualization, we use Synapse Analytics. For visualizing, we use Synapse Analytics, which is the one that is that Power BI is being embedded into. Then the next question, then deploying it on app, maybe my own. Yes, you can deploy it once you have your solution ready. Once you have your solution ready, you can deploy it into Power BI mobile. And I've told you how you can access Power BI BI mobile. You can access Power BI mobile. If you are using Android, you go to Play Store, Google Play Store, you type Power BI, and it will give you the application for you to download, and it will show your integration. By the time you log in, it will show you your integration. Therefore, if you are using iPhone, you go to App Store, right? You go to App Store, and you can also download Power BI application, and you also integrate. Once you log in, once you sign in with your Microsoft account, which I have shown to us how we can create our Microsoft account, then you'll be able to have access to it. All right. Somebody asked from the top, please can we have a PDF document that explains how to run data analysis on Azure? For Azure Portal, do we pay for it? For Azure Portal, some services on Azure Portal, of course, you can open an account free of charge. Once you have a Microsoft account, which I've shown to us how you can create that, you can have access to Azure Portal. But some services on Azure Portal are not free. Some of them are paid service. Like the one we are using now, which is Synapse Analytics, is a paid service. Synapse Analytics is a paid service, But some of them are not paid that you can play with. Uh, the next question, can we have a PDF document that explain how to run data analysis on Azure? I can, yes, I have a PDF. I have a PDF document on that, but it's heavy. It's not something I can share here. It's heavy. Maybe I will get across to Chantaya so that if there's any way we can communicate to them on how this can be achieved. I can see another question. In what ways can automated machine learning in Azure be used to generate insight and visualization without requiring extensive data science expertise? Well, in most cases, machine learning is about data science, right? But there are some plug and play that happens within the machine learning. But despite the fact, you must have an understanding of how it is being done. For instance, now you cannot do data visualization, you cannot do data analysis with Power BI without understanding how Power BI works. You can't. That's why I've shown to us. That's why the fact that I've shown to you the interface of Power BI on desktop and inside the Power BI service. That does not mean you have understood it. You still have to learn it because it's a skill set. It is when you have that skill set that you can be able to make use of it. So now, with the question asked by Kilo, of course, yes, you can do automation in machine learning, but you still have to have data science expertise because there are a lot of algorithms. There are a lot of machine learning algorithms, regression algorithm, uh, regression analysis algorithm, cluster analysis, cluster algorithm, and so many algorithms. You have to learn them, and you have to know at what place do you make use of them. You just don't use any analysis just anyhow, or you don't use any algorithm just anyhow. It requires some technical know-how for you to be able to have answer to that. All right. So another question. Thank you for the answer. But another question, by being a data analyst, do you, by being a data analysis, do you also need to be a programmer or only some part of it, but it is in line with, well, in data feed, if you just started, you can just say, oh, I'm just starting as a data analyst. But at some point in time, you will see the need to also learn some other aspect of data, data as a profession. I started as a data analyst, but over time, I had to study some aspect of data engineering. Over time, I have to also study some aspect of what database administration because you also need those services in order to make you a complete person. Of course, I may not be 100% in terms of their job role, but there are some things that will relate with my data analyst job that be more of what that be more of database administration, or that be more of what data engineering. So be as it may, yes, you can specialize, but it's also good that you also explore different areas of knowledge so that you can have all inclusive knowledge base. So the time is far gone. I think it's a good time for us to stop. I want to thank you all. Before I go, let me quickly drop my LinkedIn account so that beyond this level, beyond this level, if you have any personal question, you want to ask me or things that we cannot conclude here, I'm always available because I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, so I can always attend to your questions uh, beyond this level. linkedin.com/in/Upola.io. Uh, that's my LinkedIn account. You can always reach out to me. We can connect. And if you have any questions, yes, we can discuss together. So this is a good time to say thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Pubola. Thank you for taking your time. And I'm sure everyone had a great learning experience, and including me. Like I also learned a lot today about data analytics. So the session was really interesting. The way you covered all the topics was really nice. And thank you so much for taking your time in guiding us. And we look forward to have more session with you in the future.
Definitely, yes. It is my pleasure.
Yeah.
So
So I'll
thank you so
I'll be
much.
share yeah, thank you. I'll be sharing a feedback form for everyone. Please fill out the feedback form and do connect with Popola and reach out to him on LinkedIn. Do connect with him on LinkedIn and do mention how was the session. Give your feedback if there's anything we can improve together. We would love to improve. We always look for improvement and if there's anything that you want us to cover in the future, maybe Power BI in detail or maybe anything else, then do mention that to us in the feedback form. You can also always reach out to Popola on LinkedIn and you can ask your doubts with him. So he would love to answer your queries. Do mention if you share your certificate, like I'll be sharing the feedback form. Once you fill the feedback form, you will receive a certificate of participation for this session. And if you share that certificate on LinkedIn, then do tag Pavola and Steva and do mention your feedback. So thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for joining. And thank you so much, Pavola. Thanks for taking your time in guiding us. And yeah, the session was really interesting.
Thank you so much once again.
Yeah.
All right. Bye bye. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sharing the feedback form in the chat box. Please fill out that feedback form. Just give me a second. Yeah, so this is the feedback form, and you can fill out this feedback form, and you will once you fill it, you will receive a certificate of participation. I have also pinned it in the chat box. Uh, So do fill out that feedback form so that you can receive the certificate of participation. And let me just share the links as well for the community. So if you haven't joined our community, then please do join our community so that you can stay updated about the upcoming events. And like we organize these kind of events almost very frequently on topics related to Azure, DevOps, cloud, cybersecurity, and so on. So do join our community. I'll share the link. You can scan this QR code and join our community. And I'll also share the link in the chat box so that you can stay updated about the upcoming events. We also always send the reminders as well for these events that and sessions that we organize. So yeah, so you can join on Discord, you can join on WhatsApp, you can join anywhere wherever you are uh, comfortable. You can also join us on Facebook and do follow us on Instagram because this motivates us to bring more session for you. And uh, and yeah, we thank you once again for joining today's session. We look forward to have you all in the upcoming sessions as well. Also, some of you were asking about the recording for today's session. So the recording for today's session will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, which is Teva YouTube channel. And I have shared that link as well in the chat box. So do subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you stay updated about our upcoming events.